Hi, hello, welcome. First things first, before we get into everything, as you can see, I built a canal. There it is. Based off of the feedback, if you will, it made not much sense to have that bridge. So we added the canal. I added the canal in, and I think it looks a lot better. So it goes all the way from under the bridge to over there, which will be next to another bridge that I haven't built yet. But that bridge will connect us to the other sort of large landmass. This is just a small, well now, two small islands. So yeah, just thought I'd start you off with that one. But yeah, so what are we doing today? We are building the Yakhchal. Yeah, sorry, just playing around with whether or not to get rid of the taskbar. The taskbar? Hotbar. Oh my goodness. Oh, been too long a week. Too long a week of work and taskbars. And I've run out of food. So let's get over to the Yakhchal. Right, so here is the outline for our Yakhchal. Now, what is a Yakhchal, I hear you say? Now, I didn't know until it was suggested to me to build in this series. And when I looked it up, I was like, perfect, I love it. I will also try not to just smack the table that I'm on, because I think that just probably produced a little boom or something. So a Yakhchal is an ancient sort of Persian building. Not sort of, it is. It's an ancient Persian building, and it was used to store ice primarily. So it would be a large sort of domed, like conical domed structure that sort of would have usually have like a little hole in the middle, or would have some towers on the sides that would let the hot air rise out and keep the interior cooler. The base would also be sunken in a little bit. So we're going to sink the base of this building in. So we'll dig down a couple blocks, and then we'll build up a nice dome with, as you can see, I've laid out a couple bits here, like a couple squares just coming off on the angles. We're going to build up some towers on the side to allow that heat to escape. And the way that they would get this ice is they would have these large walls. And these large walls, what they would do is they would cause shade to form, especially in the morning. It would be built in the way to catch, I think, what is it, east-west? So you'd catch, or is it north-south? I think it's not, hang on. North-south. Yeah, north-south to get the shade, the shadow falling from the sun. So what would happen is there would also be a slight divot in front of the walls on the sides that shade would be cast, and in there overnight dew would form and kind of settle in those areas, and it would freeze overnight because the temperatures would get so low, and this wall would keep that shade across in the morning, which would give the workers time to come out, harvest the ice, and get it back and store it in the Yakhchal. And this is actually where, oh no! Oh no. That's embarrassing. Oh, not good at all. I'd be a terrible imagine that, watching like a documentary, and like you've got David Attenborough has climbed up into a tree and is like, here we see great macaque as it climbs into, oh no, I've fallen. You know, wouldn't be great, wouldn't be the best. I don't think people would really watch. Well, I mean, you wouldn't get many series out of that. Probably just the one. We probably wouldn't actually show that on TV. Anyway, right. So where was I? Yes. So this ice was actually probably, as you know, as my dad told me, as I was sort of talking to him about these walls. He was like, well, that would probably been quite salty, I imagine, potentially, from just like the air and the moisture and just like the dew forming, and you know, you'd get, I suppose, if there's a bit of rain that's settled in there as well and frozen, you know, it wouldn't be the freshest of water potentially. So this is probably where why they invented sorbets. So sorbets are actually from Persia. From the name, you'd think maybe they're French. Sorbet, you'd think, French. No, it's a Persian dish. It was the back in like 300 odd, I want to say BC. That's, I think, the time. If it wasn't BC, it was AD. or BCE and CE in more modern speak. So they invented that, and it's probably why it came about. You know, adding flavorings to remove this sort of salty taste, if it's got that underlying taste. But yeah, so that's what we're going to be building up. We're not building up sorbet, but we are going to be building up this structure that would be used in the time frame that it looks like we're building in. And so it makes sense. We're building up this place that has that would have been used to form to form and store ice. That needs to go. That's terrible. Can't believe I fell off. But yeah, I think it's a really cool idea, and I'm really excited to build it. So let's get going. Once I get rid of this horrible tower. Okay, so what have I done? What I have done is we've got the entry here. Oh, and we've got a bit that comes down. So as I said, it will be lowered down. There'll be storage around the edge and like a super low point as well, just so, the cold air is captured at the bottom and keeps these lower areas cooler. And we've got this big dome going overhead. So I've gone through. I basically just recreated the same that's going through here, but it's slightly lower. Or slightly higher. I don't know. It's different. It's slightly different somehow to like just the actual shape of it. And I think this is going to look really good. I'm really happy with how it's come along. And basically what I want to do is I'm actually going to put in a couple layers of a colored block, probably. Maybe if we think back to what our farm was over at the farm, I cannot think, by the oasis where we got the farm colors has sort of white rings or white bits around the bottom. I'm thinking I might do a couple white rings in the dome just to give it a bit more visual interest. And as this would be a sort of farm, it kind of fits with that sort of theming that I've given it in my head. And then the towers will come off of these bits. But I'll build those up once I've built this up. So what I'll probably do now is just go through and just build up the dome itself. And yeah, come back to you after that. Okay, dome is in. And yeah, we're looking like we're on Tatooine. This is, this could easily be a moisture farm. Like this is the last homestead, basically. Like it's not the fanciest of shapes, but it is the shape that we need it to be. So I am really happy with it. And it looks really cool from the inside as well. I have no stamina. Let me just eat up. Nom 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 nom. Ooh, a creepy crawly. Yeah, it needs to be lit up. It definitely needs to be lit up. But let's just excuse me. Nope. Thank you. Yeah. I think it looks cool. I'm just going to put some of these around the edge so that we can put some lights in. And light, 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 light. And finally, light, light. And then there's that central one as well, but we'll deal with that another time. Ooh. Oh, all right. They were from when I was pillaring up to place all of these blocks. And I just think it looks so cool. It's so cool. Right. This is going to look cool with an interior as well. This is definitely something we need an interior in. The entrance. Ow. Ow. The entrance is a bit simple, and I think I might jazz it up a bit. And as I said, I think I want to get some sort of rings of color going along here. So I'm probably going to get a low down one, and I'm debating a higher up one, but also then I've got to deal with gravity. So I think just a low down one will be good to get it in there. And maybe we can add some extra color into the towers as well. So that should be cool. This will also need some texture. So like our birch, that's the word. Wow, just completely left my head there. Birch and sand into here as well, which means we'll also get some of our sandstone back, which is nice because I've used up pretty much all of it. So yeah, I'm gonna have to go and get those resources to get that to do the ring, and I should hopefully have some birch still over here at the sort of the little area I've been building up. But this is looking cool so far, I think. I'm very happy with it. And I think it's different, you know? It's different. I mean, just look at it from this view. You would be like, what is this building? What is this structure? And when it's got a couple towers coming off it, you'd be really intrigued. So yeah, I think it definitely adds something. And imagine you're one of these, oh no, I'm not gonna make it. Yeah, imagine you're one of these Vikings. And you've set up shop here. You're like, what is this? What is this strange thing? And then there's going to be a big wall going along there. You would be a bit like, what's going on? What have we come across? There's a temple and this strange structure. So yeah, I think it's really cool, and I think it really fits in with what we're doing. So yeah, it needs a lot of texturing. Do not worry. I know it's a ball of sandstone at the moment, which it's not the nicest to look at, but I'm going to texture it up. Don't you worry. All right. Actually, hang on. How many segments do I start with all right? I feel like it's either all right or so. Maybe I need some more words. Hello? There's someone somewhere. Anyway, right. So, I've done the texturing. I've come through and I've done the texturing. I've done the birch in a slightly different way to what I usually do. I've done it where it's kind of a bit more of a gradient going up, and then the sand is still kind of dispersed in there, so it looks like it's kind of weathering. But I like this sort of shade coming from the birch, so I'm really happy with that. Even just adding this one line of white along it changed it so much. It made it look so much better. I was like, ooh, love it. But no, this is looking cool, and I think it's going to look really cool when we get this wall in here. But for now, the next thing we're going to work on is this bit, the sort of the towers. Now, they have a name, and I can't remember them. So whilst I build these up, I'm going to try and remember them. Who knows how well that's going to go? I'll probably just Google it. Why don't I just Google it? I'm going to Google it. I'll be back in a bit. I gotta say, having these on the diagonal and only two of them, I think it looks really cool. I'm really happy with these towers. So this is where like the hot air will want to rise. So it will go through this tower and up into the air, and it will rise out of there so it stays nice and cool in here. So now we just need to build up the wall that will go along there. And it's 10 meters tall in real life. That's how tall they would be. So we'll go 10 blocks up, because one block is 1 meter. So excellent. This is so cool. There's more of those guys. I died and I lost my stuff. I managed to built up this stuff again, but I died. And now there's danger everywhere. Go away. I say, be gone with you. No, don't bring a friend. No. I did not sign up for this. Yeah. You can stay up there, you know. I am now just trying to fill in just a little bit of water in sort of just to show, like, you know, this is what it is, and it makes sense, you know. Boop, 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 boop. So I think I'll do this in maybe these two at the front here, and then, you know, you get the idea. It'd just be like, yeah, that's it, just makes sense. So maybe these bits, the other bits even, like these bits from here on out, maybe they've been harvested. They started from the furthest point away, which makes sense. That is the way to do it. You start from the furthest point away and your job becomes easier the longer it goes on. Ooh, there is one tiny one over here. So if I just do this, then there we go. Sorted. I can put that back in there. I heard noises. Oh wait. Oh yeah, there's a spider somewhere. Right. I also added some wood onto here. That's fun. But this took a while to build up. But how cool does this look? I think it's 10 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 and a half. But yeah, so this would cause the shadow, and then there's like this little divot where there's like the water collects and stuff, and then it would freeze. And yeah, so what's left now is I want to build a bit of a path. yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm going to build a path that goes I think I'll have one that just comes along the edge here, and then it'll kind of have bits that come down and go along, and maybe connect up to the road over there. But nah, I'm just going to leave it like this, just on the front. This is looking cool. How does it look from down here? Who put that there? Was it you, Bunny? Probably. They're evil. Evil buddies. Right. This, I mean, it looks cool. It's different, you know. It's not often you just see walls like that, but I think it looks really cool. I'm really happy with how this has turned out. Yeah, I think it looks really cool. It's really interesting. It's different. It's not what, you know, it's not the most common thing you see, is it? I don't think so anyway. It's been a long weekend. It's been a long weekend. Like, you don't, I'm not going to get into it, but it's been tiring. And hard. But yeah. Tough weekend. Anyway, it's nice to sign it off with some Minecraft. And would you look at that? I've even come in and I've put in an interior. It's a rough one, but it's like, you know, this is sort of roughly what I imagine it may have looked like inside one. Got little sections sorted off by wood. I did research. I did find they did split the ice off by wood. So we've got a bit of storage you could put above. You could put it inside here. Put it in this section, although this is where the air is going through. So maybe you wouldn't put it there. I'm not 100% sure. Again, and then it's sort of repeated on these three sides. And then I thought just a nice rough sort of slope coming down from the entrance, because I thought that might be nice to just have that come in. And you got a bit of wood to sort of bring you in. I thought, yeah, that sounds nice. And what I'm going to do now is just quickly throw in just there, like that. And I don't have one of those. Do I have anything? I don't have anything. I'm just going to put it back to being sand. No one will ever know. Wah-ha-ha. And yeah, got the path in. I think it's looking pretty cool. It's looking nice and filled out. Yeah, let's take a look at it in the morning. Wait, how did? Okay, right. It's not the morning yet. Yeah, I lost everything, including my armor when I died earlier. Not the morning yet, but I just wanted to say this is an area that needs a little bit of work, and I'm thinking scaffolding. You know, the scaffolding we have over at the library. We'll get some of that along here, and I think that will really liven up this area. Will I do that today? I'm not 100% sure. Maybe. There it is. One Yakhchal with the two towers. I never did look up what it means, or what it means, what they're called. I can't remember off the top of my head. Hang on, let me do that now. Okay, I googled it. They're called Bajirs, I think. I hope I'm not butchering that pronunciation, but Bajir. Otherwise known as like a wind catcher. So there would be, I suppose, this would sort of catch the wind and pull the current through. But also, you know, you got standard convection currents. Heat will rise, so the hot air will go up, so you're just left with the cold air at the bottom inside the actual Yakhchal. So I think that's really cool. It's just such a cool design, and this is so different to stuff that we've built before. I feel like, because like you got your temple. Hang on, yeah. So the temple is basically like like the houses we've built before in this desert build, but just slightly bigger and a bit fancier. And that's the sort of the difference between that and the builds over there at the city and over at Whispering Dunes. So at Kopesh and Whispering Dunes, it's the same sort of design principles been used there. This has taken elements of some of those, and it's sort of just taken it in a different way. We got this dome. The only dome we really have there is a domed tower on the library over at New Kopesh. But we haven't really got a structure that's just like this. So this is really cool having this. The towers, we have similar towers but they're not 100% the same. So again, this is new and interesting, and I really like it. And this wall, there may be some bits of like having the sort of like the big support columns in there that are similar to other ones, but nothing really like this. So I think it's really cool. And I think it really elevates this area, and I'm so happy with it. I think it's going to look even cooler when we get the little village in over there. Maybe a couple extra houses over by, say, this bit, this road that goes out here, or maybe we'll just add a bit of interest, a point of interest over to that section. And I think that'll look really cool. But once we get these builds in, I think that'll be the next episode we have in this area, on this world. It will be that build over there. So finishing off the smaller island, and then after that we'll come in and we'll do the Viking portion. And I think that's going to be a fun one to work on as well. So we've got a few different sort of tent designs I can come up with. A sort of a fire pit area, communal area, a long ship, which is going to be so fun to design. Maybe we'll put a second long ship in. I'm not 100% sure yet, but I think that's going to be really cool to put that in there. And then, of course, the last thing that we'll have, maybe in the same episode as the Vikings, or maybe in the same episode as these, we'll put that bridge in over here. Actually, yeah, that's what we'll do. So in the next episode, we're going to build up these houses, because we've done stuff like that before. But some of these are a bit bigger, so this should be fun to build up. Put a bit more detail in because it's in this temple area. And then we'll also build up this bridge that will take us from here over to the next island. And then we're going to, in the following one, we're going to build up this Viking area, which is going to be really fun to work on. And then we're also going to do this bridge to really make it so that you can just ride a camel over from here, from this land mass, all the way over to the main landmass that we've been building on previously. And I think that sounds like a plan. But that's all we have time for today. I hope you've really enjoyed this one. It's been really fun to work on, and this is going to be hard to get all in one. I think I'm going to get the thumbnail from a different angle because I want to get a bit more of the dome of the Yakhchal in there. But this has been so much fun. I hope you've liked it. If you have, like, subscribe, comment, all that YouTubery jazz. You know what to do. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. See ya. Oh, it's time for some glamour shots.